Hey, welcome to Daily Bravo Drama. In this audio, we will be talking about Dorit facing an actual auction on her $6.5 million house, Denise dropping major bombs about her humiliating divorce, Lindsay icing out her castmates, and a whole lot of messy note-sap dirt on the Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
We'll cover everything coming up in this audio.
Hey, this is Delilah.
Hi, this is Fahid.
Welcome to Reality TV Audio Podcast, where we break down the latest in reality TV every day.
Usually, we watch reality television to see all the sprawling mansions, the luxury cars, the designer bags. But today, we're setting out on a very different mission for you.
Yeah, completely different.
Right, we are flipping the camera around to examine the actual paper trails, like the leaked texts, the court ledgers, and those behind-the-scenes betrayals that production completely lost control over.
Which is always the best stuff, honestly.
Exactly. And our goal is to strictly examine the facts as they exist in the legal documents and the press, bypassing any moral judgments. We just want to show you the actual mechanisms of how this industry operates when those studio lights turn off.
And there is literally no better place to start than the absolute financial crisis surrounding Dorit Kemsley. I mean, this is everywhere right now.
Oh, it's taking over the internet.
Truly. So, according to newly released legal documents that were exposed by attorney Ronald Richards, her $6.5 million Beverly Hills home is not just in trouble. It is facing an actual imminent sale.
Wait, like an actual auction?
Yes, the auction is literally set for May 20th at 10:30 in the morning. And the numbers coming out regarding her estranged husband PK's finances are, well, they're baffling.
Baffling is the word, yeah.
The legal filings show his net cash flow is sitting at just $40,858, yet he is currently renting a place for $16,500 a month.
Which means, nearly 40% of his available cash flow is vanishing into a rental property. All while the primary marital asset is just barreling toward the option block.
It makes no sense.
It really doesn't. Ronald Richards exposed these legal documents and explicitly called PK's finances a sinking ship. But the contrast is what makes this a textbook reality television crisis.
Right, because of the spending.
Exactly. While the mortgage is allegedly being completely ignored, PK claims his legal team audited Dorit's spending over the past 365 days. And they allege she spent over $1 million strictly on luxury goods.
Oh my gosh, $1 million.
$1 million. The itemized list includes, get this, $69,000 at Louis Vuitton, another $69,000 at Chanel, and $38,000 at Hermes.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it is literally like trying to bail out a sinking ship with a brand new $69,000 Chanel handbag.
That is exactly what it is.
The disconnect between the bank ledger and her closet is just wild to me. And to top it all off, when PK apparently offered to let Dorit and the kids move into his rental, just to save money and stop the financial bleeding, she reportedly responded, and I quote, "over my fucking dead body."
What's fascinating here is the intense contrast between the core requirement of this genre.
Projecting wealth.
Right, which is to project immense, untouchable wealth, versus the cold, hard reality of court ledgers.
Yeah.
There's this deeply documented feedback loop in modern reality television.
Oh, where the courts watch the show.
Yes. Bankruptcy courts, the IRS, creditors, they actively watch these episodes. They watch the cast trips, they inventory the jewelry worn in the confessional interviews, and they use the broadcast itself as a legal liability.
Wow, so they're basically snitching on themselves.
Basically, yeah. The pressure to maintain the illusion of the Beverly Hills lifestyle becomes this massive trap. You have to keep buying the Hermes bags to secure your contract on the show, but buying the bags accelerates the foreclosure of the house that the show requires you to film in.
The ultimate catch-22. You literally bankrupt yourself to look rich enough to stay on television. But, let's look at the flip side of that equation.
Okay, let's do it.
Over in Atlanta, Pinky Cole is navigating her own financial press right now, but her strategy is the exact opposite of Dorit's. After Angela Yee suggested she was a know-it-all, Pinky didn't put up some flawless Beverly Hills facade.
She definitely did not.
No, she came right out and aggressively defended her track record by boasting about her actual business resume, including the failures. Like, she pointed out that she has raised $33 million, built a $1 million company, and explicitly brought up the fact that she has survived bankruptcy in the past.
It is a brilliant public relations strategy, honestly, because she is removing the leverage of a potential scandal. Like, she addressed the rumors that she was losing her own house head on.
Right, the investment property thing.
Yeah, she clarified that it was actually just an investment property abandoned by a tenant, and she went to court and got the property back in just 2 days. She completely dismissed her current on-screen drama with Phaedra Parks, too, just calling it not relevant.
Because she wanted to focus on her actual business acumen.
Exactly. But what really stands out is how she publicly discusses closing several slutty vegan locations and the severe strain it put on her marriage with Derek Hayes. She admitted she got depressed and quiet, but they fought through it and are now solid.
Yeah, she even used these failed businesses to bond with Kelly Farrell over their shared entrepreneurial struggles, which is so refreshing.
It really is.
Pinky is using her actual business failures as proof of her resilience rather than hiding them. I mean, in real business, a failed venture is just part of your resume. But in reality television, a failed venture is treated like this fatal character flaw.
Right, it's a huge scandal normally.
Yeah, so Pinky is bringing real-world business logic into an environment that usually demands smoke and mirrors.
But, while Pinky and Derek managed to survive their rocky patch by being transparent, that is a really rare outcome. When the transparency vanishes, these high-profile relationships inevitably descend into absolute legal warfare.
Which is exactly what we're seeing with Denise Richards right now. She just opened up about her divorce from Aaron Vipers, describing the entire process as humiliating and painful.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Denise stated that she wanted to use a private judge from the very beginning, specifically to protect the highly sensitive details surrounding domestic violence. But according to her, Aaron flat out refused to agree to a private judge unless she signed a completely one-sided NDA.
And the kicker in this contract is just wild.
Yeah.
This NDA would fine her $250,000 per single breach.
Per single breach, that is insane.
And we have to look at the timeline here. This demand was allegedly happening right after Aaron went on what Denise called a defaming smear campaign against her to the press.
Right, where he made those weird claims.
Yeah, which included bizarre public claims that she was making $250,000 a month on OnlyFans. Though, Denise did just win a minor court victory. A judge agreed to seal documents regarding spousal and legal fees that she was actually ordered to pay him back in February.
Wait, I have to push back on the fundamental logic of this NDA demand because the math is not adding up.
What do you mean?
Why on earth would Aaron demand a $250,000 breach penalty from Denise to keep her quiet if he is the one supposedly out there running a smear campaign to the press?
That's a good point.
If he's the one leaking the details and trying to ruin her reputation publicly, why is he trying to gag her with a massive fine?
Well, because in high-asset, high-conflict divorces, an NDA of that magnitude is rarely about actual privacy. It is about creating a financial tripwire.
Oh, wow.
It is asymmetrical warfare. By demanding a $250,000 penalty, he ensures that he controls the entire narrative. He can allegedly go to the press and make claims about OnlyFans earnings, but the moment she attempts to defend herself or clarify the domestic violence allegations, she goes bankrupt.
That is so dark.
It really is. It is a legal mechanism designed to enforce silence on one side, while the other side controls the public perception.
So the legal paperwork is literally weaponized to force silence. But what happens when you can't buy that silence and you actually share a child?
It gets messy.
That brings us to Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules and the completely bizarre aftermath of her split from Randall Emmett. She recently revealed they don't even co-parent anymore. They practice something called parallel parenting.
Right, parallel parenting. It is an incredibly specific psychological and legal framework used in extreme high-conflict situations.
How does it even work?
It basically means there is zero crossover. They do not attend school events together, they do not speak on the phone, and they only communicate through a court-monitored parenting app.
A monitored app? Wow.
Yeah. And Lala noted her responses are basically just, yeah, cool, sounds good, because she is desperate not to give him any conversational leverage whatsoever.
The environment is so toxic, they basically have to operate as two completely separate parental universes. But the most unexpected development from that split is who Lala's current best friend and podcast co-host is.
Oh, this is the wildest part.
It's Amber Childers, who happens to be Randall's ex-wife. Lala openly admits the friendship started in a deeply toxic place because Lala was the mistress while Amber was still married to Randall. And the whole affair was completely exposed when Amber found a sex tape of Lala and Randall on his devices.
This raises an important question about the unique psychological environment of reality television and how it warps normal human behavior. People constantly refer to this dynamic as a trauma bond, but they are actually misusing the clinical term.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, in psychology, a trauma bond is when a victim bonds with their abuser as a survival mechanism.
Like Stockholm Syndrome.
Exactly, similar to Stockholm Syndrome. But in the reality TV ecosystem, the phrase has been hijacked to describe two victims bonding over the shared trauma inflicted by the common denominator.
Wow, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, you have former mortal enemies, the wife and the mistress, completely rewiring their alliances to form an unbreakable front against the ex-husband.
And it creates fascinating television. Okay, well, before we dive into the next segment, I want to do a quick shout out to our listener checking in from the East Coast who loves when we dive into the new franchises. This next segment is entirely for you.
Oh, they're going to love this.
Yes. We are moving from the organic fallout of past relationships straight into the fresh, premeditated drama on The Real Housewives of Rhode Island.
And premeditated is exactly the right word. The drama on this freshman season is escalating at an unprecedented speed. We have Kelsey Swanson explicitly accusing Rosie DeMare of acting superior to the rest of the cast. Kelsey claims Rosie was boasting in a group chat about having special ties to production.
Which is such a weird flex.
Right. And even more strategically, she claims that Rosie spent the months before filming collecting a notes app full of dirt on every single cast member to use as ammunition.
A premeditated notes app. You literally cannot make this stuff up. She treated the upcoming season like an NFL draft, just studying the stats and the weaknesses of her opponents before the cameras even rolled.
He came prepared.
Too prepared. And Kelsey didn't stop there. She also called out Joe Ellen Tiberi for constantly instigating drama and refusing to take any accountability for it. All of this groundwork completely exploded during episode 7's cast trip to a massive Newport mansion.
The sheer density of information and the tonal shifts on this single cast trip were staggering. I mean, on one hand, you have Kelsey and Rosie putting aside the notes app, actually deciding to reconcile, and then immediately bonding by flirting with a 23-year-old butler named Boris by the pool slide.
Good for them, honestly.
Yeah. But looming over the entire opulent trip is the conspicuous absence of Rula, who stayed home claiming she was suffering from a mysterious full-body illness that sent her to the emergency room.
Right, though she stated the medical test couldn't figure out what was wrong.
Exactly.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Because while Rula is allegedly bedridden back home, Joe Ellen receives a video from a friend. And this isn't just a rumor circulating the mansion.
No, it's hard proof.
Yes. The video reportedly shows indisputable visual evidence of Rula's husband, Brian, giving what they described as a 5-minute hug and kissing a blonde mistress. And the timestamp on this video, just 2 days before the cast all attended a polo match together.
So the group is left completely paralyzed, trying to figure out the mechanics of who is going to be the one to deliver this visual evidence to Rula.
Nobody wants to be the messenger.
Exactly. But mixed in with all this highly produced, soapy cheating drama, production weaves in some incredibly raw, real-life trauma. During a walk on the property, Alicia and Joe Ellen really bonded when Joe Ellen opened up about her childhood.
Oh, that scene was so intense.
It was. She revealed her mother sent her away to a drug rehab and juvenile camp starting in the 7th grade, an experience she says left her suicidal.
It was incredibly heavy and deeply vulnerable, but then happening at the exact same time on the exact same trip, you have the mansion chauffeur, Jamie, casually telling the women that the 3rd floor of the house is actively haunted by the ghost of a nun who passed away there.
The tonal whiplash is insane.
Oh, and if that wasn't chaotic enough, it comes out that Joe Ellen previously hooked up with Kelsey's ex-boyfriend, though, Joe Ellen quickly clarified it happened on land, not on a boat.
It is the absolute distillation of reality television editing. In a single broadcast day, you move from profound childhood trauma to ghost stories to exposing deep infidelities via video evidence, all the way to arguing about the geographical location of a past hookup.
It's pure chaos.
It really is. It shows how these networks manufacture emotional whiplash to keep the audience disoriented and engaged.
Absolutely. But let's shift from the manufactured drama of a freshman season on the East Coast over to the South, where the alliances are fracturing over genuine off-camera legal threats.
Right. The Southern hospitality fallout.
Yes. Bradley Carter just gave an interview confirming that his friendship with Emmy Sherritt is completely over. He said it is definitely nothing at this point.
Wow.
This all stems from those leaked text messages Emmy sent, claiming Bradley made her feel unsafe and actively threatening to sue him over allegedly recording private conversations.
The stakes moved very quickly from on-screen bickering to off-screen litigation there. And the allegations got even heavier during Bradley's interview. He escalated the conflict by claiming that Emmy has what he described as covert racist tendencies that she needs to check.
And just to be clear for everyone listening, we are entirely neutral here. We are simply looking at the timeline of Bradley's interview and reporting the direct quotes he put on the record.
Right, absolutely.
We are not making any validations or condemnations of the accusation itself, just tracing how these off-camera interviews are destroying the on-camera dynamics.
And that paper trail of conflicts is fascinating. Bradley also went on to heavily praise his girlfriend, Julia Brugio, calling her the one.
Oh.
Yeah, he said he was incredibly proud of her for standing up to Emmy and defending him at what he called a therapeutic reunion taping.
When reality stars start threatening lawsuits over recorded conversations, the environment just becomes too toxic to sustain. Which leads us perfectly to the Hamptons, where we are seeing the exact same dynamic of burned bridges.
Yep, Summer House.
Lindsay Hubbard is absolutely furious with her castmates, Amanda Batula and Wes Wilson. Lindsay gave an interview saying she gave them her 2 cents at their reunion regarding how they betrayed Ciara and lied about their relationship timeline.
And now?
Now, she's completely icing them out and not speaking to them at all.
But, you know, the most analytical part of Lindsay's press tour right now is how she is framing her next career move. She is shifting over to the new spinoff, In the City. And she talked openly about how jarring that transition has been.
I bet.
She said she literally has to rewire her brain. Because for 10 years on Summer House, the format was essentially a surveillance state. It was weekend partying, drinking rosé in a secluded house with cameras mounted in the corners just waiting for you to make a mistake.
Sounds exhausting.
Right. Now, she's transitioning to a documentary format, trying to film her day-to-day life making actual adult decisions without the forced pressure of a weekend bender.
She is trying to escape the surveillance state, which perfectly brings us to our final story, Katie Maloney. She is the blueprint for finally living the soft life.
She really is.
After feeling forced and, frankly, traumatized during her time in the hyper-toxic environment of Vanderpump Rules, she is returning to television entirely on her own terms for Hulu's new show, House of Stassi.
Yes, and the focus and the production mechanics of her new show are completely different. It's documenting her rebuilt friendship with Stassi Schroeder, who, has been off television for 5 years.
Which is a long time in reality TV years.
It's an eternity. And Katie is filming alongside her new boyfriend, Nick Martin, who is the guitarist for Sleeping with Sirens. She specifically noted how supportive and willing he is to participate in this new, calmer format.
I love that for her.
Yeah, and she also couldn't resist throwing a little bit of shade at her ex-husband, Tom Schwartz, mentioning that she really only talks to him and Janet Caprona from the Valley spinoff right now.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, both Katie and Lindsay represent a fascinating industry trend. We're watching a veteran generation of reality stars who are actively aging out of these forced, highly combustible party dynamics.
Exactly.
They are seeking out or actively producing new television formats that actually match the reality of their adult lives, rather than trying to medically and emotionally sustain the manufactured drama of their 20s just to keep a paycheck.
And that really brings us full circle on today's deep dive. The overarching theme we keep seeing, from the auction block in Beverly Hills to the premeditated notes apps in Rhode Island to the burned bridges in the Hamptons, is that the cameras are great at capturing the screaming matches at the dinner table.
Oh, for sure.
But the real unvarnished truth usually lives quietly in the bank ledgers, the text threads, and the leaked videos that production didn't even film.
It leaves us with a really provocative question for you to consider as you watch these shows. When these veteran reality stars finally transition away from the main shows into their curated soft life spin-offs, are they actually escaping the toxicity of the industry? Or are they just rebranding that exact same toxicity with better lighting and a softer color palette for a brand new network?
That is the million-dollar question.
Keep your eyes peeled, because next time we're diving into some newly leaked audio from a major reunion that completely contradicts what actually aired on TV. It exposes exactly how the editors construct the narrative, and you won't want to miss it.
Until then, remember the stage play. No matter how bright the spotlight is, the real story is always hiding backstage in the paperwork. Keep questioning the reality behind the television.